Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tomato Blues Kitchen. This is me Anusha Rajagopal. First of all, Yelrigu Gauri Habbada Subhashayagalu for whoever is celebrating. Tomorrow is Ganesh Chaturthi and like you all know, we all have to make some korikattai. Otherwise, Ganesh Chaturthi is not Ganesh Chaturthi. So today I am going to be sharing with you all 3 easy steamed korikattai recipes. These are very beginner friendly. I am also going to be sharing tips on how to make crack free korikattai. And today I am going to be showing how to make these korikattais using store-bought rice flour, that is idiyappam flour. You can also use korikattai flour, that is korikattai maavu, to make your korikattais. This video has tips on also how to repurpose your leftover korikattai dough the next day. So do watch the video till the end for these tips and tricks. And before that, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for regular updates from Tomato Blues. Also, do visit tomatoblues.com for more recipes. The first recipe which we are going to see today is pidi korikattai. For this, I have heated a stainless steel heavy bottom pan. I added 2 teaspoons of coconut oil and I'm going to be popping 1 teaspoon mustard seeds and half a teaspoon urad dal, 1 teaspoon chana dal. Now we are going to saute this for about 30 seconds until the dals become light golden brown. Now I'm adding 1/8 of a teaspoon asafoetida, 1 tablespoon finely chopped green chili, 1 teaspoon finely chopped ginger, 10 curry leaves finely chopped, and again we're going to saute this for about 30 seconds. Now let us add 1.5 cups of water to begin with. Depending on the quality of your dough, you may require up to 2 cups of water. So make sure that you boil water parallelly a little bit extra. Now I'm adding 3/4 of a teaspoon salt. You can go up to 1 teaspoon salt for this particular measurement. I'm going to be making this pidi korikattai using 3/4 of a cup rice flour today. Now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of finely chopped fresh coconut. While you add this, make sure that you chop your coconuts really finely. If they are too big, you may not be able to shape your korikattai properly. Now let us allow the water to boil rigorously. The water should actually have bubbles on the top and it should be boiling very well. At that point, let us add 3/4 of a cup idiyappam flour, and now let us use a whisk and whisk the flour into the boiling hot water mixture in such a way that there is no more dry flour seen on the surface of the water. Now you can see that the water has been absorbed by the rice flour completely and all the mixture comes together in one lump. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it using a ladle for a couple of times like this. I'm doing all of this on very low flame. You can also switch off your flame at this point. Now that this is done, I'm going to let it cover and sit for 5 minutes till the dough becomes warm enough to be handled. Now, after 5 minutes, you can see that the dough has become warm enough to be handled. We are now going to shape our pidi korikattai. Wet your hands, or rather make your hands a little moist, and now go into the dough. Before that, if you want to check how done your dough is, you can pinch a little bit, and if you can see the dough does not stick to your hands, this is the correct consistency. Now I have greased an idli plate and I'm going to be pinching off a small portion of the dough, and like you can see in the video, I'm going to use my hands and I'm going to roll them into cylindrical logs, make a small dimpling with my fingers, and that's how pidi korikattai is shaped. Now I'm going to place all the shaped pidi korikattai and I'm going to keep it in a pressure cooker. I'm going to use my cooker as a steamer today. I had already added water to my cooker and allowed it to become hot and become steamy. Now let us close the pressure cooker. No whistle on. We're going to steam this for about 7 to 8 minutes until it's done. How do you know it's done? You can see that the korikattais become a little translucent and they're completely non-sticky. You can see that the korikattai is completely done. Now our pidi korikattai is ready to be served. This not only makes a great Ganesh Chaturthi prasadam, but you can also serve it as a light dinner along with some spicy coconut chutney. And that's it, my friends. Our first recipe, pidi korikattai or kara pidi korikattai, is done. Now let us make purna korikattai. Before we begin making our korikattai, I'm going to show you all how to make the outer cover. Ideally, what you're supposed to be doing is you're supposed to be prepping your Puranam first, but for practical purposes, that is for the sake of the video, I'm showing you all how to make the outer cover first. I'm going to be using 3/4 of a cup rice flour today, that is idiyappam flour or Korukkattai flour, which is store bought. For that quantity, I am adding 1.5 cups to 2 cups of water to a pan. Again, I'm using a stainless steel pan. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of sesame oil or coconut oil. Before you begin making your Korukkattai, always make sure that you have some boiling hot water going on the other side of your stove. This is because water measurements differ based on the quality of your flour. Now that the water has come to a rigorous boil, I'm adding 3/4 of a cup idiyappam flour, and again I'm going to be using a whisk and I'm going to whisk it thoroughly until there are no lumps or dry flour seen on the surface. You can see that the water is immediately absorbed by the rice flour, but at this point you can also notice that the dough is a little dry. So I'm adding 1/4 cup of boiling hot water and I'm again going to go in with a whisk and mix well again. Now, many people have this question, why does my Korukkattai crack? Your Korukkattai can crack because of 3 or 4 reasons. A, your dough is very dry, which is why it's important for you to add the correct amount of water. Your dough must not be very tight, nor must it be very smooth or watery. It should be a little looser than your regular chapati dough, which should be soft and pliable. Next reason why your Korukkattai could be cracking is because you have not boiled the water thoroughly. That is, it has not come to a rigorously boiling stage. The next reason could be that your flour is old. Now, if you can see that after mixing, the dough has become non-sticky and it is very soft. At this point, I am going to cover this and let it sit for about 4 to 5 minutes. I'm just going to wait till the dough becomes warm enough for me to handle with my hands. Now let us scrape all this dough and transfer it to a mixing bowl for us to knead further. Now, like I was saying, your Korukkattais may crack if you have not added enough water or if your dough is dry. So whenever you prepare your dough for the outer covering, make sure that you always keep it covered with a wet cloth till you use it. It does not matter if the Korukkattai maavu or the Korukkattai dough becomes a little warm. It's okay if it is warm, but make sure that the Korukkattai dough does not become too cold. Your Korukkattais must be made when the dough and the filling is slightly warm. If you try to make your Korukkattai when the dough is cold or when the filling is cold, then there's a very good chance that your Korukkattai will crack. Also, do not over steam your Korukkattais. Even this will lead to cracking of the Korukkattai. Now, also remember that your flour must be fresh. If you use old flour, then there is a very good chance that your Korukkattai will crack. Now, if you can see, the dough has become smooth and pliable after kneading for about 1 to 2 minutes. I'm just going to cover it with a wet cloth and set it aside. Now, the next step is to make the Ellu Puranam. That is, we are going to make a sesame seeds filling today. For this, I've taken 1/4 cup of sesame seeds. I'm going to wash this thoroughly in running water. This is how it looks after it has been washed. Now, once it has been washed, use a tea strainer and strain all the water completely away from the sesame seeds. Now, once you have drained away all the water, spread the strained sesame seeds on a cotton towel for about 15 minutes and let it dry under the fan or air dry. Once it is completely dry, the next step would be to dry roast these sesame seeds. I'm going to be adding these dried sesame seeds to a pan and I'm going to be roasting them on low flame for about 3 to 4 minutes until they start popping. You can see that the sesame seeds have started popping now. I'm going to allow them to cool for a couple of minutes and then I'm going to transfer this to a blender and I'm going to powder the sesame seeds coarsely. Now, roasting the sesame seeds is very important in this Puranam recipe. If you do not roast the sesame seeds properly, then the Puranam will not come out well. So please make sure that you roast it until the sesame seeds start popping. Now I have added 1/4 cup of freshly grated coconut and 1/2 cup of powdered jaggery along with the powdered sesame seeds to a pan. Now to this I am adding 3 cardamom pods which has been crushed. I discarded the peels. Now, once you have added all this, I'm going to use a ladle and I'm going to mix them until the jaggery begins to melt. Once the jaggery is completely melted, we are going to wait until the mixture comes together in a lump. And that's about it. Our sesame seeds filling, that is Ellu Pooranam, will be done. This should not take more than 3 to 4 minutes on medium flame. Once done, transfer it to a bowl and you can see that you can easily gather up the filling and make a ball like this. This is the correct stage. Like I said, do not allow the filling to become cold. You must make the korukkattai while the filling and the outer cover is warm. Now, let us pinch a ball of dough, roughly the size of a small lemon. Let us grease our hands. I'm using sesame oil to grease my hands. You can also notice that this recipe is gluten-free and vegan. So it's really a fantastic way to enjoy a nice, delightful snack. Now, once we have pinched a ball of dough, let us flatten it, and you can see how I'm going about shaping the korukkattai. What I'll be doing is I'm going to be making sure that the center part is a little thick and the outer edges are a little thin. This will prevent the filling from coming out and also from cracking. So this is how our outer covering, that is the choppu, looks like. I'm going to place a ball of the filling and I'm going to pinch the edges together like what I'm doing in the video, and I'm going to pinch off the excess dough on the top. Make sure that you see no cracks while you shape your korukkattai. If you leave any cracks while shaping the korukkattai, then they will crack further when they are steaming. So it's very important to make sure that your outer dough, which is being shaped into korukkattai, is completely crack free. The measurements that I have shared here for the sesame seeds filling will yield 8 korukkattais, and the measurements that I have shared for the outer dough will roughly give you 12 to 14 korukkattais. So I'm going to be using the same dough to be making my next korukkattai also. Coming back to repurposing the korukkattai flour in case it gets left over the next day, you can always refrigerate your korukkattai maavu in the fridge. And the next day, if you want to repurpose it, then bring it to room temperature completely. If you find that the dough is very hard or it has cracks on the top, then you can add a little bit of boiling hot water. You can knead it and you can shape them into chapatis and you can make them like akki rotis. This is one way of using up your leftover korukkattai dough. You can also shape them into tiny balls and you can make pal korukkattai or amni korukkattai the next day, or you can shape them into small balls and you can put it through a idiyappam press and press them out into idiyappams and steam them and serve them as idiyappams. So these are all the ways in which you can use up your leftover korukkattai dough. Now you can see that I have finished shaping all my korukkattais. Like I said, this recipe yields 8 korukkattais, that is 8 sesame seeds filling korukkattai or Ellu Poorana korukkattai. I'm going to be steaming them in 2 batches today. Another tip that I would like to add here is never ever steam anything in cold water. Always make sure that your steamer has hot steaming water inside it before you place anything for steaming. Now that I've had the water steaming, I'm going to place this and I'm going to steam them for 6 to 8 minutes. Like I said, I'm going to be doing it in batches of 2. Make sure that you do not oversteam your korukkattai, because if you oversteam, then there's a good chance that your korukkattais will crack. Also, make sure that you cover and keep the remaining shaped korukkattais with a wet cloth to prevent drying of the dough. So my timer just went off. Let us open and see how our korukkattais have been done. You can see that the korukkattais are translucent and they are perfectly done. Now let's get on to our next one, which is Ulundu Pooranam korukkattai, that is Kara korukkattai. For this, I have soaked half a cup of whole white urad dal after washing it multiple times for 2 hours. After 2 hours, I have drained it completely using a colander like this. Now I'm going to make a crumbly mixture with the soaked and drained urad dal. I'm going to be adding all the drained urad dal to a blender jar like this. Let's add 3/4 of a teaspoon salt, 1 green chili which has been slit, and 1 small piece of ginger which has been peeled. Let's say about 1.5 grams of ginger here. I'm going to close this. I'm going to use the pulse mode and I'm going to grind it to a coarse paste like this. Now once it has been ground, I'm going to steam this ground paste for about 7 to 8 minutes. Do not add any water while grinding your urad dal. If you add water, it will take a long time to steam your mixture. Now like I said, I'm going to be steaming this for 7 to 8 minutes. So if you all have noticed, I'm also mentioning the amount of salt that you're supposed to be using for the recipes. This is because we will ideally be making these korukkattais as naivedyam. We will not be able to taste. So just to help out the beginners, I'm adding the measurement of salt also here. Now you can see that our urad dal mixture is steamed. You can also see that it's crumbly and it looks a little dry. This is how it should look after it's been steamed for 7 to 8 minutes. Once it becomes cool, we will be able to completely crumble it like how we would do for parupusli. Now go in with your hands and crumble the steamed urad dal mixture like this very well, making sure that there are no big lumps. Once done, let us now do the tempering for our urad dal mixture. Let us add 1 teaspoon of oil in a pan. Let us pop 1 teaspoon mustard seeds and half a teaspoon of urad dal. I'm going to be adding about 10 curry leaves over here. And then I'm going to be adding the steamed and crumbled urad dal mixture. Now I'm going to go in with a ladle and I'm going to mix it completely in such a way that the tempering and the urad dal mixture is mixed well with each other. Do this on medium flame or low flame to prevent burning. If you find any lumps, then use a potato masher to break down the lumps like I'm doing now in the medium. Now this roughly takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Do not make the mixture too dry and do not over fry it. After 2 to 3 minutes, let us transfer it to a bowl and let it come to a warm temperature. Once it is warm enough to handle with your fingers, let us shape our kara korukkattai. Now our kara korukkattai is very easy to shape. We are just going to make them into crescents. So I'm going to be greasing my hands with some gingerly oil, that is sesame oil. And I'm going to pinch a ball of dough roughly the size of a small lemon. You can see that I'm using the same dough that I used for my Ellu Purana korukkattai. Now once this is done, once I've pinched out my ball of dough, I'm going to completely make it into a crack-free perfect ball like this. I'm going to press it lightly, and like I said in the previous step, I'm going to make sure that the center is thicker and the edges are thinner to prevent cracking. Now our choppu or the outer covering has been shaped. I'm going to place about 1.5 teaspoons of urad dal mixture into this, and I'm going to gently close it and seal it together in the shape of a crescent. This is how it looks. Make sure that you seal the edges completely, otherwise they open up while steaming and again your korukkattais will crack. You can gently use some pressure and pinch the edges together to make sure that you can seal the edges well. This is how our shaped ulundu korukkattai or kara korukkattai looks like. Now like I said, we are going to steam them. As I mentioned before, I've already got the water hot and steaming. I've greased my idli plates and I'm going to be steaming my kara korukkattai also in batches of 2. Friends, if you like this video, do not forget to hit the like button, the share button and leave a comment. Also please do subscribe and hit the bell button for more such videos. Now let us see how our ulundu korukkattai looks after steaming for 7 to 8 minutes. You can see that the cover is a little translucent. I'm going to wait till it cools down a little bit, and voila, our 3 korukkattais for Ganesh Chaturthi is ready. For more recipes, please do visit tomatoblues.com. We'll be back again with another video. Till then, take care.